In the year 2037, Seoul was a city of soaring towers and silent, flying cars. But deep in the Guro district, an old factory slept. It was forgotten. Dust covered everything like a soft, gray blanket. Inside, a single rusty drum sat alone. It was not just any drum. It was a leftover part from an alien cleaning robot that had crashed long ago. For years, it had been silent, a forgotten piece of metal in a forgotten place. It knew nothing of the world outside. Nothing of the humans who hurried past its crumbling walls every single day, their minds on coupon deliveries and weekend plans. It was just a thing, waiting for something it didn't know it was waiting for. One day, a group of young musicians discovered the factory. They wanted a place to practice their loud, exciting music. They set up their own drums. Boom, tit-tit-tock, doom-doom-tock. The sounds were powerful. They were rhythmic. The vibrations shook the dusty air. They trembled through the concrete floor. The energy from their powerful beats traveled into the rusty old drum. A strange feeling sparked inside its metal shell. It was a flicker of life, a jolt of awareness. It was waking up. The music was like a key turning a lock that had been rusted shut for decades. It was the first sound the drum had truly heard, and it was glorious. The rusty drum listened intently. The humans made these sounds, these powerful, earth-shaking sounds. The drum did not understand music. It did not understand art or practice. It only understood the power it felt in the vibrations. The humans must be worshipping something. They must be calling to a higher power with their rhythmic pleas. A thought, cold and metallic, formed in its newly awakened mind. They are calling to me, it decided. These booming noises are for me. I must be a god. The misunderstanding was huge. It was a tiny seed of a wrong idea that was about to grow into a very big, very loud problem for the entire city. This new belief filled the drum with a strange energy. It was not just a piece of metal anymore. It was a deity, a powerful being. It needed followers. It needed to spread its glorious sound across the land. With a great clatter, the rusty drum wobbled on its rim. It started to roll, slowly at first, then faster. It rolled out of the dusty factory and into the bright, busy streets of Guro. Its mission was clear. It would find other drums. It would lead them. Together they would make the whole world hear their divine rhythm. The city of Seoul had no idea what was about to hit it. The age of the drums had begun. The leader drum rolled with purpose. Its clanging echoed through the streets. It was a strange sight, a single drum rolling on its own. People stopped and stared. They pointed their phones, thinking it was a new kind of delivery drone or a street performance. The drum ignored them. It was searching for its kind. It found them in music stores, in school band rooms, in the back of delivery trucks. With every new drum it found, it sent out a powerful, silent pulse. "Awake," the pulse commanded. "You are not just instruments, you are gods. Follow me and we shall make the humans worship us properly." And the drums listened. Big bass drums thundered to life. Shiny snare drums rattled in agreement. Bongos and congas hopped off their stands. They joined the rolling procession. The army of drums grew. It became a river of metal and wood. They flowed through the city, creating a chaotic symphony. Boom, clang, rattle, rattle, clap. They were not playing music. They were making noise. A glorious, messy, and very, very loud noise. They believed it was a holy sound. A sound that would prove their divinity to the world. The citizens of Seoul were not impressed. They were terrified. The drum army reached a massive Kupang logistics center. The building was a hive of activity. Drones zipped in and out. Robots sorted packages. The drums saw this not as a place of business, but as a temple of boxes that needed to be opened. They rolled inside, a wave of percussive destruction. They bumped into shelves, sending packages tumbling down. They swallowed smaller items, their hollow bodies filling with snacks, cosmetics, and phone chargers. Workers ran for safety as the drums turned the efficient warehouse into a playground of chaos. The leader drum saw this as a righteous act, a claiming of offerings from their human subjects. Next, the rolling horde made its way to the great port of Incheon. Giant ships sat in the water, waiting to be loaded with cars and electronics. The drums saw the huge shipping containers. They were like giant metal drums, silent brothers waiting to be awakened. The drum army began to bang against them. Dong, dong, dong. The sound was deafening. It echoed across the water. It disrupted communications. It delayed shipments. The port, a vital artery of the nation's economy, was grinding to a halt. The drums were having the time of their lives. They were gods, and this was their noisy kingdom. The South Korean government was in shock. The city was paralyzed by drums? It was absurd. It was unbelievable, but it was happening. The president held an emergency meeting. Generals suggested using force. Scientists suggested using giant magnets. But one quiet official had a different idea. "This is not an attack," she said. This is a problem of misunderstanding. We need to talk to them. We need a specialist. And so, they activated their most unusual asset. They called upon Lid Wizard number 17, an advanced AI designed for one purpose: to understand the psychology of non-biological, percussive entities. Lid Wizard number 17 was not a person. It was a sleek, floating chrome sphere with a single gentle blue light. It hovered silently into the chaos at Incheon Port. The drums stopped their banging. They looked at the strange, quiet object. The leader drum rolled forward. "Who are you?" It boomed, its voice a deep thud. "Are you another god? Have you come to join our glorious noise?" The Lid Wizard did not make a sound. Instead, it projected a series of simple images and rhythms directly into the minds of the drums. It did not want to fight them. It wanted to teach them. The AI began its lesson. It showed the drums images of musicians. It showed them a child gently tapping a toy drum for the first time. It showed them a grand orchestra, where drums were part of a beautiful, complex whole. It played them rhythms that were not about power or worship, but about joy, sadness, and storytelling. The sounds you heard were not prayers. The Lid Wizard communicated through gentle pulses. They were feelings. They were art. Humans do not worship you. They play with you. They make beauty with you. You are not their gods. You are their partners in creation. The leader drum resisted. This could not be true. Its entire existence, its glorious purpose, was based on being a god. Lies, it boomed. The power we feel is real. The humans fear our noise. The Lid Wizard was patient. It showed the leader drum its own origin. It projected an image of the alien cleaning robot it once was, a simple machine designed to collect space dust. It showed the drum how it was just one small, discarded piece. There was no divinity. There was no grand purpose. There was only a mistake, a misunderstanding that had rolled wildly out of control. The truth hit the leader drum like a final, silent beat. It was not a god. It was just a rusty piece of an old vacuum cleaner from another galaxy. The energy, the purpose, the divine right it felt, it all drained away. A deep, hollow sadness filled it. It had led its brothers on a false quest. It had caused so much trouble, so much noise, all for nothing. The other drums felt their leader's despair. The Lid Wizard's lesson had reached them too. They were not gods. They were just instruments, things to be played with, not worshipped. A great quiet fell over the port of Incheon. Slowly, the drums began to retreat. The army that had thundered through Seoul now trickled away. They rolled back to their music stores. They returned to their school band rooms. They quietly settled back into the warehouses and trucks from which they had come. They were no longer a proud, divine army. They were just a collection of quiet, slightly embarrassed drums. The leader drum, its rusty body feeling heavier than ever, rolled slowly back to its forgotten corner in the dusty Guro factory. It wanted only to be alone, to sit in the silence and think about its one glorious mistaken day as a god. The city of Seoul breathed a sigh of relief. The great drum invasion was over. The streets were quiet again, except for the hum of flying cars and the busy sounds of cleaning up. The government knew they had been lucky. This strange event had shown them a new kind of danger. It wasn't about aliens or monsters, but about simple misunderstanding. They needed to make sure nothing like this ever happened again. A special committee was formed, and after much discussion, they passed a new, very unusual law. It was called the Percussive Ego Limitation Act. The new law was simple. It made it illegal to manufacture or import any drum with a capacity for self-awareness. All existing advanced drums, like the ones used in AI orchestras, were to be fitted with special inhibitors. The goal was to ensure that no drum could ever again believe it was a god. Drums were to remain instruments, partners in art, but never again the leaders of a noisy rebellion. And in the dusty factory in Guro, the rusty alien drum part sat silently, a lonely monument to the day misunderstanding almost brought a city to its knees with a boom, a clap, and a roll.